Hey.
So you did watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes, I did. I watched it twice because I didn't get it.
Well, you always do this. By the way, when you said Hateful Eight, you were like, yeah, I watched it 4 times on Saturday. You always watch movies multiple times.
Until I see every perspective that could possibly been had about the film. I watch and listen to it like 17 times. I'll sleep through it.
We both DVR'd it, and I hadn't watched it yet, and I need to get to it. I was watching, to be honest, I burned up a lot of others. Like I watched Ant-Man and some other stuff, but Jurassic World?
Yeah. Did you? I recorded
I've seen that a million times.
We both entertained the DirecTV free HBO weekend and grabbed what we could from our DVRs. So
yeah, that's what it is. Anytime there's a free HBO weekend, they might as well call that DVR a shitload of movies weekend, is what it's called for me.
I watched Mimic last night thinking it was that other one where the alien chick like mutates and there's boobs everywhere.
Species.
Species.
You thought Mimic was Species?
I thought Mimic was Species, and then I watched Mimic and I was like, this is not Species.
I'll tell you about quick Species story. When I was 13 is when I went to see Species.
A lot of boobies.
And it was one of those weekends where like, for whatever reason, my mom was gone and my dad was like, well, let's go see a movie tonight. So we went to a movie and I picked out Species because it was like supposed to be a horror movie
thing. Yeah.
And it was so much titties. And when you're 13 and you're at a movie with your dad, boy, I'm going to tell you, we drove home. We lived a half hour away from the theater.
No one talked about like the depth of the movie and what happened and why the movie was good or bad. Everybody was just silent.
Quiet ride home.
My teenage son just saw like crazy porno shit that he shouldn't.
Well, that's what it was. It was a Skinamax movie is what it was.
Yeah. Like one of those, what do they call them? E-romantics or what's the word I'm looking for? Like
softcore?
Yeah, like softcore, but there's another word for it.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. Anyway, I may be making it up.
I remember the chick's name, Natasha Henstridge. Like I was in love with her after that movie because I saw so much of her boobies.
Dude, anyway, Mimic. Okay, we moved from fucking Cuckoo's Nest to Mimic to now this.
Okay.
Mimic was a shit ass movie because like cockroaches learned to fold their hands in front of their face and no one noticed. That's the whole premises of that movie.
Hold on. Wait, cockroaches learned to fold their hands?
Okay, so you know like the front paws, the front proboscis, whatever their front hand part is?
Proboscis. Okay.
They had like grown after like these cockroaches were genetically engineered to kill off this problem. 5 years later, like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, they skip to 5 years later. Then there's these cockroaches that fold their hands up and hold them in front of where their face is and walk upright. And their hands look like a human's face. And somehow no one noticed like 5 foot, 6 foot tall cockroaches walking around the subway system. And then they attack and they eat everybody. It's a fucking like 80s B movie horror film, but it was made in the 90s.
It's like if that old Jerry O'Connell MTV movie Joe's Apartment. If it was a horror movie. Yeah. If that was a horror movie, it's
the cockroaches evolved into like tricking Joe that they were actual roommates. Like I always wear a trench coat. I don't eat. I'm doing like the joke doesn't come across because I'm doing the hand thing in front of and I'm just talking.
I got it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Anyway.
So let's get to Cuckoo. We got to get to Cuckoo's Nest.
I watched this motherfucker, honestly, 3 times. I slept through it once and went the osmosis method. Then I watched it. Then I watched it again.
I feel like every time you talk about this movie, by the way, during the podcast, you're going to increasingly say more times. Because at first it was like, I watched this movie twice. I watched this movie 3 times.
No. I watched it twice. The third time it ran while I was sleeping.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Because I do believe in osmosis and like sleeping around books makes you smarter.
Same thing for movies?
Well, the movies, the audio plays and you're picking it up. Like, okay, not the book thing so much, but the movies, you hear the audio while you're sleeping and it kind of sinks in over time.
So what's the like? It was like, here's all I know about it.
Okay.
And you tell me.
Yeah, no,
like I know it was the
you lay your
1970s.
synopsis out, and I will correct your synopsis.
I know late 1970s movie. I know it won a shitload of awards. It kind of was like a breakout movie for Jack Nicholson.
It won 4 Academy Awards, or not 4. It won all the Academy Awards, and only 4 films have done that.
Yeah, it did the thing where it got like the best picture, best actor, best actress, and
best supporting
director,
actress, best makeup.
Oh, it's swept the whole fucking categories.
Yeah. There's only been 4 of them that have come in at that level.
And I know Danny DeVito was in it. And
it was Danny DeVito starts and Christopher Lloyd start.
Oh, wow. So the Taxi dudes, that was back when they were on Taxi.
Before they were on Taxi. Like Danny DeVito is like fucking 1920 in this fucking film.
What was the other one? And Nurse Ratched. That's the other thing I know.
Nurse Ratched was a big part. I can talk about Nurse Ratched as well.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all I know about it. What I just laid out for you is what I know about it.
Well,
and I forgot one other thing. It's based on a book by the guy that was a big acid Grateful Dead fan. This guy called Ken Kesey, who did a shitload of acid and wrote this book. That's all I know. So
the whole film or the whole book, and I read about the whole controversy, and I'm taking the perspective of the author here. The whole book was written from the perspective of this guy named like Big John. He's like a 8 foot, 9 foot tall Indian guy.
Okay.
And it's about him meeting this crazy guy who's like sane enough to be sane, but just on the edge of crazy. And he probably should be locked up, but maybe not. So there's like there's a moral conundrum there. But the book comes from the Indian guy's like point of view, and he sees the guy and they eventually escape and whatever happens. The film is filmed from the crazy guy's perspective, Jack Nicholson, and he meets the Indian guy, Big John or whatever his name is. And you see the whole film from a guy who seems like, okay, maybe he did a bad thing and he's trying to manipulate the system. He's faking crazy. He like you never get a true answer, like as whether he's crazy or like on the verge or acting, faking it.
Well, here's a question though, real quick, just so I clarify about the hospital. Is this one of those things where I almost checked myself into a mental hospital?
No, this is literally where people who are on hold, people who voluntarily check themselves in, and the mentally insane by the government's like standards.
So they are committed.
They're all committed.
So if you got
Jack Nicholson's character came from the prison system, they committed him because they thought he was crazy. He faked out the prison system.
What year did this movie come out? I'm just
1975.
Curious. Okay, should we do a spoilees for a movie that's 31 years old?
Oh, no, I thought we already did that. We didn't announce spoilees, but we're talking about a 30-year-old fucking movie, 40-year-old movie.
I don't know if there's like a spoilees rule
40 years ago.
That's 41 years.
Fuck all y'all spoilees. This is what's happening.
By the way, this is how relevant this fucking show is. We're talking about a movie that's 41 years old that I haven't seen.
No, this is a fucking review. I watched
I'm agree with you. Okay, so
this is what happens. Don't apologize. Fuck everybody. You're listening to a review of One That Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Did he commit a crime is what I'm wondering about Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
What put him in?
He had sex with a 15-year-old is what put him in prison initially.
Oh, wow. So he was like Jared Fogle in it.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, probably not without the celebrity. I think he just like fucked a 15-year-old and he went to jail for it.
He was a less famous Jared Fogle.
And then anyway, like he was a big mouth. The whole movie is about Jack Nicholson's character being a mouth. He runs his mouth all the time. He knows how to manipulate people. He is talking all the time. And that's where Nurse Crabtree or whatever the fuck her name was.
Nurse Ratched.
Nurse Ratched got an Academy Award because she was the biggest bitch a bitch can be. Like,
so was it like a good movie?
It was. That's why it's like Fight Club. Good. Fight Club was a good movie. Really, actually great movie.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought Fight Club was a great movie.
Great movie, but you have to watch it twice to understand it. Because what it ends up, this is really the spoilies part. After Jack Nicholson plays Nurse Ratched and plays everything, and there's a bunch of antics with everybody that's in the mental ward, Christopher Lloyd, Danny DeVito, the big turnout is they fucking give this guy a lobotomy. Spoilees. They fucking rip his brain out.
Jack Nicholson?
Yes. Because he kept interrupting like therapy sessions and disrupting the antics of the hospital. They gave this guy a lobotomy.
Holy shit.
Him and the Indian are supposed to escape. We're getting out of here, yes. Because the Indian's in the same position. He's just fooling everybody as a mute and a deaf guy. Mm-hmm. But really, he can hear and talk. So he fakes everybody. Jack Nicholson finds out. They plan an escape plan. They try to escape, but they have a big party with hookers and whiskey, and they all pass out. Nurse Ratched finds them.
Had they gotten out? Like, did they get out of
They had the window open, but they brought hookers and booze into the hospital instead of escaping, and they had a giant party, and Rabbit, like a weird, like, antisocial guy, has sex for the first time with one of the hookers. It's a big thing. Nurse Ratched calls out Rabbit. Rabbit commits suicide.
Is Danny DeVito having sex at the orgy? Is he like,
no,
I'm having sex?
He's just a happy, yay, whiskey, yay kind of guy. And he has a unibrow.
Does Christopher Lloyd have sex?
Christopher Lloyd he's a guy there that's just like, this is fun. I'm keeping to my own. But I loved Christopher Lloyd's performance because he had dark hair. He was like 20-something years old, and it was an amazing performance. Everything else was shit up until Back to the Future.
Wow.
Because I also watched Camp Nowhere.
I watched the fuck out of Camp Nowhere.
That is a bullshit movie. That movie sucked. I remember loving that movie as a kid, and now it fucking blows. Christopher Lloyd is the best part of that movie.
I DVR'd it, and I remembered how fondly I remembered it as a child. So I watched it with my daughter, and then at the end I cut it off and I said, boy, that didn't hold up well. That did not hold up.
That's exactly my response. But the kids loved it.
But Christopher Lloyd, even in that, was fun. Like, I really feel like I was watching it and I went, why isn't he still in things? Because he's fucking great in everything.
You look up his IMDb. I'll pull it up right now because we're kind of done with the.
Okay, wait. Let's give it your rating though. So what do you like? Okay, so he got a lobotomy. Real quick. Hold on.
What?
He got a lobotomy, and that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Then the Indian still escapes.
Okay.
He rips the wall off and jumps out, and the movie finishes with him running into a field, disappearing.
Okay. So Indian escapes, Jack Nicholson gets a lobotomy, that's the end of the movie.
No, but the whole film is more than that. That's why, like, you have to watch it, dude. You have to watch it twice. Because the first time you get one reaction, and then you exhale and you get a different fucking flavor.
Oh, it's on the inhale and the exhale. Okay, yeah. I got you.
Watch it twice, and it gets the science in the shit out of this. It deserves the critical acclaim it really has. Because you believe it. It is fucking real. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest gets to science the shit out of this on Serial's rating scale. That's as good as it gets, man. It holds up to why it's critically acclaimed, in my opinion. The first time I was like, this is stupid. It didn't make sense. And then I watched it again, and it's like, the second time you watch it from Big John's or the Indian man's perspective. The first time you see Jack Nicholson, and it's just like, why did they do this? This poor man. The second time you watch it, and it's like, oh, I see what Big John, what the book was kind of telling you. You kind of get it the second time around. So, did Ken Kesey, the guy who wrote the book, did he like the movie, or no? He hated bullshit? He refused to watch it his entire lifespan. He accidentally started watching it once on HBO. And he's like, "What is this? This looks interesting." Then once he heard the character's name, he turned it off. Called, made a complaint, and never watched it again. He made a complaint. So if One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest gets to science the shit out of this, what does Camp Nowhere get? Camp Nowhere gets a Sunday afternoon, like, wine drunk viewing. Okay. The lowest of the low, like, let's get drunk on Sunday and watch Camp Nowhere. That sounds like fun.